The excessive cost, delay, and risk of seeking a proper outcome to a legal dispute in a public court can be devastating for everyone involved, and especially for the party that legally deserves to win. Fortunately, intelligent justice has now found an innovative solution.
Hello, I'm Rick Grossman, founder of the nonprofit enterprise Intelligent Justice. In this video, I will explain why our current public court system is broken beyond repair. There are three fundamental problems. First, the cost of each party retaining separate lawyers to pursue a just decision in court often approaches or exceeds the benefit of obtaining that decision. Second, the benefit of obtaining a just decision in court often does not justify the years of effort and delay required to obtain it. And then finally, the risk of ending up with an unjust decision from a randomly assigned judge, potentially with no prior expertise in the relevant area of law, or a jury with no legal training at all, is far too high. These debilitating problems are built into the basic structure of our public court system and are experienced in all kinds of legal disputes, regardless of type or size. Imagine a corporate employee whose career is permanently destroyed because she was wrongly accused of illegal discrimination. The result of that improper accusation is personally devastating to her and her future. But the cost of defending that wrongful claim will exceed 2 years of her salary. Imagine a couple with $100,000 in life savings going through a divorce where there's a dispute over the proper division of their property, or a dispute over child custody and visitation. The outcome of that court dispute will be life-changing for both of them, but the cost of hiring attorneys for each of them will eat up their entire life savings. Imagine a business headquarters destroyed by fire, but the insurer wrongly refuses to cover the loss. If they sue the insurer, they probably will win, but it will require 3 to 5 years to obtain that court victory. In the meantime, the shutdown of their business during that entire period also means they will lose all the customers to their competitors. The same problems exist for every type of legal dispute, no matter how large or small. Because of the excessive cost, delay, and risk of pursuing justice in a public court, 95% of those cases are settled after much of that cost and delay has already been experienced. But no case can be settled without both parties making substantial compromises, including the party that deserves to win. That gets rid of the case, but it is not true justice. How do I know these facts to be true? Well, I know about these flaws in our legal system because I was part of that flawed system for several decades. I'm an experienced litigation attorney who participated as an advocate in court for my clients. I litigated some small cases and also some very large cases. Some of them involved many millions or even billions of dollars. My cases involved disputes covering a large variety of legal specialties. In some cases, I represented claimants. In others, I represented defendants. In the vast majority of those cases, I succeeded on behalf of my clients according to the warped standards of success in our legal system. I refer to those standards as warped because the attorneys usually do quite well. But our clients do not do as well because they always have to incur the excessive cost, delay, and risk of litigation, even when they ultimately win. It is not true justice when the cost of retaining counsel and paying enormous additional litigation costs approach or exceed the benefit of obtaining a just result. It is not true justice when obtaining a just result does not justify the years of delay and effort required to get a final court decision. And it is not true justice when the party that legally deserves to win must substantially compromise their position to obtain a settlement that ends the excessive cost and delay and avoids the substantial risk of an unjust decision from an overworked judge that lacks expertise in the relevant area of law or a jury that has no legal training at all. These problems are common knowledge within the legal community. Any honest attorney or judge will acknowledge them. And any client that has suffered the pain of extended litigation will emphatically verify their extreme dissatisfaction with the process they experienced. These problems are most severe for parties involved in disputes that are life-changing for them, but not large enough to cover the attorney's fees necessary to obtain a just result. But these problems often are just as severe for parties involved in very large, complex disputes, because the complexity increases the attorney's fees and costs to a level that unacceptably diminishes the value of seeking justice, even when the disputes involve millions of dollars. Over and over again, I have had to advise potential clients that although they had a valid claim for damages or a valid defense to claims improperly asserted against them, they would have to pay me more to obtain a just result than the benefit of that just result was worth. The inefficiency of our court system effectively denies justice even to those who deserve to win. After years of expressing my severe concerns with the flaws of our public court system, I challenged myself to come up with a solution. And it took some time to perfect the process, but the solution ultimately was quite simple. Comprehensive adjudication solves nearly all the problems with our litigation system by replacing the separate attorneys, the judge, and the jury with a jointly selected neutral legal expert to both investigate and decide the dispute. We can dramatically reduce the cost, delay, and risk of litigation. In my next video post, I will explain the major reasons why litigation in a public court or traditional arbitration costs far too much, and how using comprehensive adjudication to decide the same dispute dramatically reduces the cost for all parties.